Hello, thank you for joining me on a Saturday. Yesterday was a good day. And I say good day, and I mean quite a stressful day. But oh well. Afternoon, Notion Goth. Lizzie, it's so nice to see you live. I know I make them the worst possible times to go live, but then I might get moaned at by Danny. Chances are. Hello, Nerdy Notioneer. Excellent. So, welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed the thumbnail from yesterday, Notion Goth. I'm upping my thumbnail game after pure comments from Danny that I'm not doing good thumbnails. And now Danny won't reply to me. I'm sad. Can you all hear me okay? Can you all see me okay? I know you can see me, but whether you can hear me okay, not too quiet, not too loud, so I know that nothing's going wrong, because I got some things to talk about today on our final live. Wow. Our final daily live. There's going to be more of these. I really do enjoy them. I'm going to take a sip of tea while all the humongous comments come rolling in. Oh, I think everyone can hear me. Good sound and video, good volume, excellent. So I will begin. If you haven't seen me before, my name is Jonathan. I am a simplicity specialist. I help you make your business, life, tech easier so that you can focus on the things you actually enjoy doing instead of faffing around with apps all the time, unless that's kind of what you do enjoy doing. So I save you some time so you can faff around with more apps. Doesn't that sound like a good idea? I think that sounds like a good idea. So today I was not originally going to talk about this one, but it came up to me on a call that I had with a client yesterday. And also I was talking to Notion Goth about this, a similar kind of subject. And we're talking about tools. And I say non-techies here because it attracts the right non-techy crowd. But I'm talking about people who just... Going back to what we were talking about like days and days ago now about just choosing apps and crowdsourcing your productivity apps and tools and things like that. This is another thing that happens with kind of finding the right tools for the right situations. As I discussed previously, a tool, whether it be a productivity app, whether it be, an email marketing app or whatever it might be, it's just a vehicle for you to drive. It's making sure that you have kind of the right mindset on what you need the app for. And so today we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to share my screen, and this is probably going to go horribly wrong, but hey, this app makes my life a little bit easier, so I'm going to give it a go and see how it works. So I'm going to talk specifically about one example because this is an example that I see every single time when I speak to new people, and it's about choosing the right tools when you are not what you would class as really techy, when you're not. And you want to try and find something that's simple, or you're using an app that you're not familiar with. When I say non-techy, I mean when you're using an app you're not familiar with, when you're using a tool you're not as au fait or confident with. You can be incredibly confident with a tool like Notion, and then you can really don't get email marketing software. Things like ConvertKit, MailChimp, etc. Why did I specifically say email marketing software? Because I planned this. That's why I am planning, and I'm in planned today. So whenever you're choosing or looking for a new app to serve you in whatever way it might be, whether it be a productivity app, whether it be a task manager, whether it be an email marketing piece of software, so things like MailChimp and all of that gorgeous stuff, think about what you need. Think about what you want. Why are you coming to this? Do you want to have, what do you need from this app? It's kind of going back to our previous topic again. I go over it over and over again because it's a lesson that we all need to remember, including me. Whenever you sign up for an app, think about what your needs are. There are lots and lots of tools. There are lots and lots of tech that you can use. There are lots and lots of different things that you can use. Don't rely, as we all know by now, don't rely on crowdsourcing your tools, because otherwise what happens is you get faced with a window like this. So this is the back end of ActiveCampaign, which is a really beautifully powerful, wonderful tool for sending out emails alongside having a CRM, a customer relations manager, so you can manage your customers. It's a really absolutely insane and powerful tool. However, even though I'm a techie and I've used ActiveCampaign in the past, that makes me want to cry in a corner. Now, obviously, for protecting private information and all those lovely things, I've hidden most of the content, but you can see everything on this one dashboard. This is what happens when you log in, you import a couple of contacts, and you literally just import them in, and then off you go. This is what you see. This is all the information that you get thrown at. And if you're not used to those apps, that's kind of overwhelming and a little bit frustrating. And so when you're kind of choosing or finding the tools that you want to use, think about, what do you want to see when you come in? What do you exactly need? So for me, I don't personally enjoy using ActiveCampaign. And the reason why is because of that exact reason. It is incredibly complicated. You've got a spoiler there. Absolute spoilers. Oh, anyway. Yeah, it's incredibly busy and incredibly detailed, and all of the information is just shoved in your face. Now, if you are the kind of person who enjoys having lots of information and likes to see all the stats, the details, I could see Danny probably enjoying ActiveCampaign a bit more than ConvertKit, which we'll get onto in a minute, because it's stats, details, and the ActiveCampaign interface is incredibly busy, but is incredibly powerful because you can do an awful lot with it. But the question you need to ask yourself is, do you need to do all of that with it to achieve your goal, to achieve what you want? Going back to a previous live, because of course I will. Exactly. You need simplicity. Life is complicated enough. And often people dive into these really complex apps to go, well, this is the best tool for sending out emails. This is the best tool for sending out campaigns, for scheduling things, for scheduling this, for keeping in contact with that, and blah, 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 blah. They go on about how amazing it is. And to ActiveCampaign's credit, they are really good. It is really good, but it's also really, really busy. Contrast that with this beautiful app here. I'm going to remove my face. This is the exact same account. I've hidden more of the details and stuff, but inside of a tool called ConvertKit, which is just as powerful. There's a few things it doesn't have, I suppose, but it is just as powerful and just as awesome. But the problem is that this one is well, not the problem. The good thing is that it's much easier. It's much easier to manage. It doesn't require everybody to see everything, and it can still do a lot of what most people want and need with an app. By making sure that you think about what you need before you sign up for an app or before you get the advice from other people, crowdsourcing productivity and apps is a thing. Think about what you actually want to see. Because my question to you is, would you rather see all of the details and every single individual little nugget of information, or would you like to just see enough so you can get on with what you want to do? Because at the end of the day, you need to find the right tools for you and your business or what you want to do. Well, I always say business because it's kind of what I talk about all the time. I like businesses. I'm a little bit obsessed with running and owning businesses and helping people run them. It's all about finding the right tools for the job. Now, right now, I am live streaming. I'm having another sip of tea. I'll just get some comments out. Oh, yeah. Tea. Lifeblood. Anyway, going back to me right now. So I am very techy, very nerdy, and I just love all of the stuff I can get hold of. I like delving deep into software. However, guess what email marketing tool I use? ConvertKit. My dog's about to go nuts right now. See, I cued that. He's doing exactly what he's told to do. And if you can't hear that, it's fine anyway. All week, I've been able to get away with it. Yes, precisely. Fixate on the details. Going back to app discussions. Fixating on details is something that distracts you from actually getting things done. and ends up meaning you spend more time messing around with ActiveCampaign. Now, I have used ActiveCampaign in the past, and I spent more time messing around with ActiveCampaign than I did actually scheduling and sending out emails and newsletters and posts and things like that. Beautiful. And Ed Notioneer just uses Notion or Access for storing contact information, and that's it. Because that's all you need. Because for you personally, that's what you need. That's all you need. You don't need to worry about anything else. And it's fantastic and it's beautiful. Moving on from that, I'm currently live. Really? Ooh, what a surprise. Bet you didn't know that. I'm currently live and I'm using a piece of software called StreamYard. I had to look at the URL at the top because I keep calling it Streamlabs. William, welcome. Great to see you. Great to see you. So glad you managed to. This seems to be a really good time for people to catch it. Good. Excellent. Love it. I'm currently using a tool called StreamYard. I also have OBS, which is another app that I use to stream with. So I could go live to both my Facebook group and my YouTube with OBS, and it would be fine, and it would be great, and it would look really gorgeous. And so the thing is, though, which one do I want to use? So if I use OBS, I'm going to spend all my time fiddling and messing around with all of the settings, because OBS is a tweaker's app. It is for those who are in that mindset of fiddling and playing. And believe me, I'm going to go fiddle and play because I like to mess around with different apps. That is enjoyment for me. But when I wanted to start doing these daily lives, I did not want to have to mess around with all of the settings, all of the different things, and try and create a system that works. That takes me longer to do. I would prefer to literally just jump in, hit a button, make sure to turn my mic on, and go. This has just taken off all of the pressure of trying to make sure everything is working, trying to make sure that my CPU is not being drained by something else, to make sure my processor is I don't have to manage or think about any of that. I don't have to think about switching things and moving things around. It's fine when I'm doing like a 3-4 hour live stream where, I want to have lots of little extra bits and pieces, but that's a 3-hour live stream. These are on average 15 minutes. And StreamYard means I just press a button and I go live, and I have the ability to add different banners and beautiful little things and pop-ups, and enough for me to interact with, the audience from multiple different places. Now, most people are on YouTube today, which is wonderful. Hello, YouTube peoples. I know I'm waving, but I am. And so that meant I could stop the tech from getting in my way. I have the knowledge and experience to build a decent OBS setup, to be able to do all the nerdy, geeky stuff in the background that I could. But I wanted to remove all of the barriers of entry so that I can only just look at it. Hello. Thank you. Thank you for waving back, Lizzie. It's great. Thank you. Feel better now. I like to remove all of the barriers to entry so that I can just get on with it. And stop using I don't understand this app as an excuse or a reason not to be productive. See, look, I managed to bring it back to being productive and getting things done. Find the app for you. If you're non-techy, look for familiar apps that are non-techy. Look for apps that don't overwhelm you when you boot it up, when you open it up. If you open up a window and you just see so many bits of information being thrown at you, that app can very easily just be closed. Don't get stuck in this fallacy of lost time. If you've tried an app and it doesn't work and it really doesn't feel right for you, you'll know. You'll know. If it doesn't fit your purpose, if it's just too much, then don't use it. Think about exactly what you need. Think about exactly what you want. And here, Notioneer has made a brilliant point. I use PowerPoint to record and add cool effects too. I don't think my laptop could handle OBS, but I've experimented with it because PowerPoint works for me. That's what PP stands for. Danny, I'm waiting for you to erupt into PP in the comments, because of course you would, and I kind of thought about it too. PowerPoint, I could never imagine using that myself, because I like having that customizability, and Streamlabs gives me enough. StreamYard gives me enough of that flexibility so that I can fiddle around and play around and put comments up as I want to, and add a little bit of a 30-second intro while I boogie in the background, because I really do boogie in the background. And it gives me exactly what I want when I need it, and nothing else. No, I can't do really posh things where I make the images bend, and everything is very simplistic and minimalistic for me. And I would love to be able to do more. But for these 15, 20-minute lives, it's perfect. I just know that it's going to work. And I know that all of your beautiful comments are going to come down on the right-hand side for me to be able to bring up when I want. PPs! I'm a professional, honest. Danny never lets us down. But at the end of the day, using technology, using tools, all of those things is all about what works for you, what's fun for you. So whenever you're figuring out what you want to use and trying to discover an app that'll help you achieve something, once again, go back to what I've said before. Think about what you want it to do. And what's your mindset when you're approaching new tools? If you start by thinking, oh, I really need to start doing these things. I need to do this. I need to have that. I need to do all those things. Start questioning and asking, well, why do I need all these things? Is it because I'm being told I should have them? Or is it because I want them? Because it's important to me? Because it's important for what I want to achieve and have with my business or with what I'm trying to do? So whenever you're looking for a tool, think about what you actually need. Think about how you're going to approach using the tool, because there will always be some form of a learning curve when you first get started using a tool. That's just what happens. Any tool you use, there'll be a learning curve. Are you comfortable with that steep of a learning curve? If you're not, find a different tool. And there's nothing wrong with switching to a tool that works better for you. For example, I spend a lot of time bullying Trello and Asana, because for me, I could not touch Trello or Asana because I have no customizability and I'm stuck with what they tell me to do. However, for people who don't have a system yet, who aren't in that mindset of creating their system and don't know how to customize their own systems yet, then having a tool like Asana and Trello is a great starting point, because it already gives you a pre-created. And Trello is another one. Trello's a good one. Trello I disagree with being a project manager, but if you're not doing projects, then you don't need to worry yet. So, simple task manager, simple project manager, both Trello and Asana could do that comfortably. I'm going to sip now. But when you get to a point in your business where things start to become more and more complicated and you have to start thinking about different things that you never did before, that's when you outgrow the tool and grow to the next part. I did not start in Notion for my system. I started all the way back, and I've used many apps because I like apps anyway, but I started back in a tool like, I think my first one was Asana, Trello, I think. Yeah, I can't remember which one, but I've used Asana and I've used Trello and I've even used Todoist. And they really served me well at that time. But as I was growing and as I was scaling and as I was doing more and more things, I needed something that could keep up with the way my brain works. And that, at the end of the day, is what choosing apps is all about. It's about really thinking, how does my brain work? Really going inward instead of just saying, I like this app and that app and which app and what app and which app and all that stuff. Come back and think, how do I like to work? How do I like to do things? What excites me? What helps me to get things done? If it is just minimalism and having next to nothing on your screen, then have a look at Notion, because that's a good tool to do it. If you like having lots of details and you're a bit worried about all of that stuff and having to figure out from scratch how to use Notion, then maybe explore ClickUp. There's a lot more data and information inside of ClickUp, and you see everything at once. So could feel a little bit more. I have to bring this up. John's talking straight to you now. I mean, to be fair, you did partly inspire this conversation, so maybe a little bit. But not just you. The thing is that the Notion Goth is not the only one. I think we've all been in a point where we've just been like, oh, this is shiny, this is pretty, I like this, I enjoy this. This is a nice app. And there's nothing wrong with exploring hundreds of apps. Ain't that right, Danny? Hello, Notion Goths. Hubster. Hello. Nice to see you here, even in the background. It's great to have you there. But as I was saying, whenever you're looking for your tools and finding the right tools for you, really think about what you need. If you just want to go and record a video, then there's a plenty full of apps that you can use. And don't glad Danny does it for me though. Can I use my time for better things? Yeah, precisely. Now it looks like I'm talking to myself. I'm not. I'm fairly sure that's Rebecca using my account. See, I am that good with technology. I can be in two places at once. I can be replying to comments at the same time. Not really. So take a step back when you're looking for a new app. Take a step back and think about what you're looking for. You've got to delve deep into what actually works for you. Because to be really practical for a second, if you're going to just... There we go. Thank you, Rebecca. Hello. When you first get started with your business, just choose a simple app. If you're really at the beginning, I don't know whether Notion would work for you, because it's so open-ended and free and gives you the capacity to do so much. And then as you grow your business and you become more experienced and understand your own way of thinking and the own way of working, it will help you to really create a system that works for you. A good example of this is actually Rebecca, who started in Trello, and she's recently been saying how she's feeling like she needs to move away from it because her business is growing, she's getting more things, and she's starting to really come into herself in what she needs for her business. And so William's saying, I'm using Notion, but I'm worried about backup and offline access to the data. So my question to you is that really important for you? Is it obviously backing up and having backups and having that is important, yes, but is it important enough to let go of the powers of Notion, of the power of Notion and what you love about Notion? Do you think that Notion will bring in proper backups? Because let's be freaking honest, the backups are awful. You can't use them whatsoever. Mrs. Notion is going to rant at me for that one. Oh well, get over it. It is rubbish. And offline access. Do you think that Notion is prioritizing offline access? And at the end of the day, you've got to think about what's most important for you. Do you need that now? Is it imperative for you to have that now? And if you're worried about backups, do you take backups elsewhere instead of just relying on the app you're using to back stuff up? For example, in Notion, you do have some form of backup. So you could never import it back into Notion, but you would be able to open it in different places. Now, I personally haven't backed up my Notion because I'm not very good at that. But thankfully, I know that the truth is that for me, the power of Notion is more. It kind of prioritizes over like the need for backups and offline access. And I am fairly certain that Notion is looking into offline access. I know that they've said it on Twitter multiple times that offline access in whatever form it might be may be coming soon. Bear in mind it's Notion's soon. So So have a think about how important backups and offline access is for you. And yeah, couldn't you get around that by importing the backup somewhere else and then importing that using the yes. Yeah, precisely. That is a very good example. So you could export as CSV files, which is powered by Google. So there's that. And I do know from losing content before that you can lose data in Notion, but I know that they have server backups and things like that. It's very good. And William has literally just said that. I love Notion and it's helped me organize, but I lost some data on Notion, but I get recovery easily. Yeah, the Notion support team do have some form of backups which they can restore. And yeah, exactly. You can export in HTML, which means you can see the visuals of all the actual content that's actually important that you need to back up. If something is that important to you, back it up. Copy it somewhere else. Have it in multiple places at once. Whenever I have something really important, like for example, if I'm writing emails, I have it pardon me, inside of Notion. And then, of course, I have it in a backup inside of my email marketing software, which is, of course, ConvertKit, as I alluded to earlier. And so having multiple places to backup is just good practice, whether they don't have a decent backup service, which honestly, if things went wrong and Notion was your only backup and the Notion export is your only backup, it will still save your content. It will still save your data. It will still give you the ability to jog your memory on what you were doing. I personally do not hold anything I would be worried about losing inside of Notion. And if that is something that I worry about, pardon me. If it's something that I worry about, if it's important information that I must have, if Notion goes down, I back it up twice. I back it up to 2 separate places. I back it up into Notion. And so, for example, I do import some important records. I take scans of important documents for my family and I put them in Notion. But I don't put them in Notion first. I have the physical paper backup. I then have a scan of that backup using Adobe, which is a completely different software and a different app in a different place and has backups there. And then I also import it into Notion. So I have all three. I have 3 backups. I always try to go in the 3s because I just like backing up. We're now talking about backups now. It's great. It is a real fear. It is a real thing, and you want to make sure that you have a backup. And I know that Rebecca has just done the Shit Hits fan plan, which is an amazing kind of way of working to help you think about backing up and making sure that you have a plan if shit hits the fan, hence the name. If you have the link handy, Rebecca, you're welcome to put it in the chat. I don't have it handy, but I'll put it in the YouTube comments as well for people. So that you can see them. And that's something you want to have. You don't want to rely on other apps to do your backups for you. Take backups yourself. Always have multiple different points of entry, like multiple possible places where it could die. Because as we've experienced with 2020 and 2021 so far, things do break and shit does hit the fan. And you must have a plan. Have a plan. I can't speak. Yeah, by all means, you can make me an affiliate, Rebecca. That'd be great. But anyway, going back to what I was saying about choosing the right tools. If a backup is important to you, then find an app that has decent backups. I personally like the fact that I've got at least, I think it's a month or 30 days worth of revisions inside of my Notion. That to me works beautifully and is good enough for me, because I don't just rely on Notion. I also back my stuff up to Google Drive. I also, if I'm writing it as an email, it always goes somewhere else. I am not saying it. It's not happening again. I am not taking responsibility for that, for the word beginning with to do with Google and apocalypse. I didn't say that. Didn't hear it. None of that. Think about the apps you need. Think about go back and really consider what you need, what is good for you. Wow, I've done a 30-minute live today. This is brilliant. I take a day off and this is what happens. We double the length of the live. Love it. Hey, you got 2 for the price of 1 on the same day. No, we don't talk about that. And yet for people, no, not you. No one wants you up there. Yeah, and for people on YouTube, you can see it as the plan. There you go. Yeah, it's that. We need to get you a decent link on that one, because that's such a long link to write down. We'll talk about that, Rebecca. Yeah. Can you also save the Notion page block links in a separate notepad as well, or bookmarked in a browser to access later? Zonka-thunka-dunkily. Correct. That's another thing you can do. There are always workarounds and ways to work around. But going back to the kind of topic of this, the topic of conversation, if this sounds like hell for you, if this sounds horrible for you, then Notion is not a good tool for you. And it's what you want to do is think about what you need, what's important. Once you find what's important for you and you really delve deep, because it's one of those things that people just rush into apps and they want to get married to them, and then they find, oh, I don't like this, but I've sunk so much time into it. I've spent all these hours researching. I've spent hundreds on courses. If you're a course person, I can hear Danny making a comment right now. Yes, I'm a course person and freaking proud of it. And then you're just looking at it and go, I still don't like it. Don't get trapped by that into thinking, well, I just got to learn how to use it. I'm just not techie. I just can't do this. I just got to learn. Just keep banging my head against a brick wall until it works for me. No. Take a step back. Think about what you need. And what you want. What's important to you? What is the most important thing to you? And then go get it. And yep. You just described my entire Trello experience. So much in there, so many hours, so much money. Yeah, I've invested an awful lot of money in Asana courses, in Trello courses, in Rome courses, in courses. I've invested money on courses because that's the kind of junkie I am. But anyway, beside the point, that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. But yeah. Thank you very much for joining me on this kind of stream. I'd love for you guys to let me know what you think. Tell me in the comments. I am on a course ban. Yeah, I am on a course ban. I am on a course ban. Yeah, I know. I'm not buying any courses. I'm not. Oh. Getting things done with link database. Ooh, that's a topic that I could go on a discussion about that. We can talk about that. I'm going to put that down and write that down as another live we're going to do. Figure out what you need, what's important to you, and actually, I'm going to stuff it over time. I'm going to go anyway. So, getting things done is another really kind of like interesting topic. Another interesting topic, which I'm going to lightly touch on. Methodologies like GTD, Para, building a second brain, don't look to them as the be all and end all, because once again, you've got to find what works for you. And I'm going to do another topic on that one because we are like 35 minutes in. And yeah, I'd love to talk a little bit more about GTD and my opinions on GTD, because I have read that book and I have opinions. Oh, I know. I saw that. I stayed silent. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me for this kind of extended live rant. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, I will see you again very soon for another live rant stream thingy. Take care, guys. Bye.